Hey, Steve Stine from Guitarzoom here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today what we're going to do is we're going to look at expanding some basic arpeggio ideas to make your solo sound a bit more interesting and creative. So do me a favor, if this video helps you, subscribe to the channel and like and share the video, please. Thank you so much. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is just looking at an A minor chord, and we're going to try and think of something that's a bit more interesting to play than just playing your scale. And what I'm going to offer you today is an arpeggio, which means broken chord. Now, normally when we think of arpeggios, let me show you this. If I was playing an A minor chord, okay, an arpeggio really could just mean this. Just playing the notes of the A minor chord like that. But oftentimes what we do is we learn how to play arpeggio shapes, which lead us to playing things that we call like sweeps and stuff like that, and they look like this. So right there what I'm doing is playing 5, 8, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5, 8. Okay? And it's a fine shape. There's nothing wrong with that. If you already use those in your playing, I think it's wonderful. But what I want to give you today are two great little tips that can make it a little bit easier to use in your playing if you're not really used to this sort of thing, and they just sound really great. And the two things are this. Number one, we're going to add some notes into this A minor structure to make it sound a bit more colorful, and the second part of that is in doing so, we're actually going to create a real functional movement across the fretboard, which you're going to see in just a second here. So let's do this. Now what I'm using is just, you could use any jam track here, A minor. I'm using kind of an A minor 7 sound for my little jam track. So what I'm going to do is, instead of just playing this stock A minor scale, or A minor arpeggio, excuse me, like that, what I'm going to do is create another shape by adding some new notes. So I'm going to play the A and the C and the E, but then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in this note here, which is G. Now that is the 7th of the chord, and it sounds really nice, okay? Now my root is right there again, but I'm actually going to skip over that. I'm going to add a new note, which is called the 2nd or the 9th, and it's located here. And it sounds really neat. It's really colorful. And the first thing to do is just kind of get comfortable with playing that. Now you can use any fingering you need to. You can pick it or slur it any way you want to. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, but most importantly is you find a way that works best for you, what's most comfortable for you. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a hammer-on from 5 to 8, and then I'm doing a down strum on 7, and a down strum on the 5, and then I'm doing a hammer-on to the 9. Now I could play that with an upstroke too if I wanted to. Depends on how fast I'm trying to play it or in what context I'm using this thing. Okay? So if we just, and I'll play the jam track in a second so you can hear what this sounds like, but if I took those sounds, okay, and then what I'm going to do is continue on, and I'm going to play a 7, and then 5, 8, and then 7 and 10. So it sounds like this. Now, there's a couple of ways I want you to look at this. And again, you can stop this if you need to kind of memorize this shape. So 5, 8, 7, 5, 9, 7, 5, 8, 7, and then I'm going up to 10 here. So if you think about it, what I'm doing is I'm playing a note and then I'm cutting across 3 strings. So visually, that's what I'm seeing. Now from this note, if I started here and did the exact same idea, the shape is going to be different, but the movement's the same. You see? So what I want you to start understanding is that there actually is a pattern here. There's 2 notes on the 6th string, 1 note on the 5th string, 2 notes on the 4th string, 1 note on the 3rd string, 2 notes on the 2nd string, and then ultimately this 1 note on the 1st string, although I did add in this 10 just so I had somewhere else to go, okay? But you wouldn't have to. So I have this. There's 2 notes, 1 note, 2 notes, 1 note, 2 notes, 1 note, and then I just added in this 10 since my pinky was sitting there. Now if I played it backwards, And if you need to, you can pause the video and just practice that and try and develop a visual picture of what I'm doing here. Now, what I think is really neat to do with this kind of shape and these new notes, these new colors that we've got, is to explore them over a jam track. So you just take some sort of A minor sounding jam track and you just practice, not, again, don't just throw it into the technique category of how fast you can play it, but really explore the sounds that these notes are giving you. Okay, so let me play a little jam track here for you. Okay? Now, let's put this in real context. Something really neat that you can do with this is use it with your normal scale. Maybe you just know pentatonic, for instance. So you've got your A minor pentatonic sitting right here. So what you do is you learn to slip in and out of these two ideas at any time. You don't have to play the entire shape. You might just play a small section of it. You might just play something like this. Just that much of it. Then you drop back into your pentatonic, for instance, or maybe you play the top part of it. And then you drop back into your pentatonic from there. So it's just learning how to take what you already know and just add something new on top of that. Now, I would definitely memorize the whole thing, but just understand in the real world, you might just not, just sit and play it up and down. You might, and that's great. But you might just try and find a new way of adding that idea into what you already know and come up with something brand new. So practice that. Hopefully that will help you a little bit in trying to expand your creativity a little bit when you go to solo. And again, if you like this video, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and share it with somebody, and have a great day. Stay positive and keep practicing.